few monuments in the world are as instantly recognizable as the Statue of Liberty. A towering symbol of freedom, hope, and democracy, standing proudly in New York Harbor, welcoming millions of immigrants who once arrived seeking a new life. But the story behind this colossal monument is far more dramatic and inspiring than most people realize. This is the story of how a radical idea in France became an engineering miracle, how it crossed the ocean in pieces, and how it transformed into one of the greatest icons of the modern world. Welcome to the history of the Statue of Liberty. The idea for the Statue of Liberty was born shortly after the end of the American Civil War in 1865. A French author and political thinker, Édouard de Laboulaye, a strong supporter of the abolition of slavery, proposed the creation of a monument to honor the United States' victory and the end of slavery. To Laboulaye, the United States represented a successful model of democracy, something he hoped could inspire political reforms in France, which was struggling with instability and authoritarian rule. His vision was to create a grand symbol celebrating liberty and the friendship between France and the United States. To bring this idea to life, he turned to a young sculptor, Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, an artist fascinated by monumental sculptures. Bartholdi imagined a colossal woman holding a torch high into the sky. He called the work Liberty Enlightening the World. Every part of the design was symbolic. The torch, representing enlightenment and guidance. The tablet, bearing the date July 4, 1776, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And at her feet, a broken chain and shackles, symbolizing the end of oppression. Construction began in France in the early 1870s. It was an enormous engineering challenge, and Bartholdi needed help. He turned to Gustave Eiffel, the engineer who would later design the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel developed a revolutionary iron framework that allowed the statue's thin copper exterior to move with the wind while remaining structurally stable. The statue's surface was created from hundreds of hand-shaped copper plates, each just 2.4 mm thick, about the thickness of 2 coins. The project took more than 9 years to build, and progress was often slowed by funding shortages. To finance the work, public donations were collected from people across France. Schoolchildren, workers, and ordinary citizens donated coins to help finish the statue. By 1884, the statue was completed in Paris and displayed to the public. Then, like a giant puzzle, it was taken apart into 350 pieces, packed into 214 crates, and shipped across the Atlantic to New York. The Statue of Liberty arrived in New York Harbor on June 17, 1885, where tens of thousands of people celebrated her arrival. But there was one major problem. The pedestal wasn't finished. The United States had agreed to build the base, but funding ran out. Newspapers mocked the project, politicians refused support, and it seemed the statue might never be erected. Then the famous publisher Joseph Pulitzer launched a fundraising campaign through his newspaper The New York World. He asked ordinary Americans to donate whatever they could, even pennies, and published the names of everyone who contributed, no matter how small the amount. More than 120,000 people donated, and the pedestal was finally completed in 1886. On October 28, 1886, the Statue of Liberty was officially dedicated. President Grover Cleveland accepted the gift on behalf of the United States. Cannons fired, whistles blew from every ship in the harbor, and the city erupted into celebration. From that moment on, she stood as a powerful beacon, a monument not just to America, but to the idea of freedom itself. In the decades that followed, the Statue of Liberty took on a new meaning. Between 1892 and 1954, more than 12 million immigrants entered the United States through Ellis Island, located just nearby. For many, the first thing they saw was the statue rising through the mist, a sign of hope and a new beginning. In 1903, a bronze plaque was added featuring the famous poem by Emma Lazarus, including the iconic line, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." From that moment, the Statue of Liberty became forever connected to the immigrant experience. The statue was declared a national monument in 1924, and over time it underwent several restorations. The most significant occurred in 1986, for her 100th anniversary. Her original torch was removed and replaced with a new copper torch coated in gold leaf. New structural steel was installed inside, and thousands of volunteers and workers helped bring her back to full glory. After the attacks on September 11, 2001, public access to the statue was restricted for security reasons. Parts reopened over the following years, including the crown, which reopened to visitors in later phases. Today, the Statue of Liberty stands not only as a monument to American independence, but as a universal symbol of hope, democracy, and human rights. She reminds us that freedom must be protected, and that the dream of liberty belongs to all people, everywhere. So I leave you with a question: what does freedom mean to you today? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history-based content.